This is the primary factor for my prediction that NVIDIA's stock would increase tenfold over the next 3 years. You're going to be in a tough place since NVIDIA has purchased all of HBM's design choices, these particular optical cables, and a ton of other things. You traveled abroad. This week, where have you been? I was in France and Paris. Why did you go there? In an effort to get everyone enthusiastic and energized, Jonathan Ross, the creator of Grok, and I started off the significant AI conference with a 45-minute fireside discussion. Cool. Yes, it truly was. Did anything intriguing emerge from it? I believe Jonathan's soundbite was the one that really got to me. Therefore, I believe he did a great job of outlining NVIDIA's strengths, which are in learning, and its business-building efforts, which are in inference. However, I believe that was a clear explanation of the issue, which is that the features practically fight with one another between learning and inference. Second, he stated that by the end of the following year, he will have 50% of the available inference computed if he implements his roadmap. Whoa. Given all of the requirements of companies like OpenAI, Meta, and others, which is, wait, a smaller physical footprint, is that correct? And that's only because they can perform all of the main models with higher tokens per second while using less power. It would therefore be far less expensive and power-intensive. That was a really great soundbite then. His reasoning was sound in its entirety. Therefore, I thought it was okay if you listened to the "we did." This was even better in my opinion. Since the talk was recorded, I'm attempting to obtain a copy so that, at the very least, we may post it. Anyone interested in learning more about NVIDIA should pay attention to what he has to say because, in my opinion, the differences between us and them are rather significant, and the way he explained them was quite stark. It was cool then. To be honest, it was wonderful to be in Paris. How does NVIDIA react to this trend or the idea that there is a completely distinct chip category that is solely concerned with inference? Is there a different roadmap they need to start up right now? Or are they working on inference-focused chips? It's really difficult for them, in my opinion. It's a problem for structural innovators. What's the reason behind that? Due to the architectural choices they have made about things like high-bandwidth memory, HBM, or particular types of exceptionally high-throughput optical links. They have essentially bear-hugged these marketplaces as a structural component of their architecture, which is why these things are important. They have gone and purchased the world's supply. Now that is quite legal and makes sense. The issue is that none of those supply chain considerations apply if you architect around it and use an entirely orthogonal design methodology. And I believe he did a great job of explaining that. I didn't fully comprehend it as I did before I left. That, in my opinion, is a crucial lesson to learn. Knowing these distinctions is also crucial for the hundreds of chip startups and the venture capitalists who are squandering money on them. Because NVIDIA has acquired them all, you will be in a very tough position if you are investing in a business that is sensitive to, HBM in their design decisions, or these particular optical cables, or a whole bunch of other things. Therefore, I found that to be quite intriguing. NVIDIA also excels at what Intel did in the 1980s and 1990s when they intended to stifle competition in the CPU industry. They were able to establish a measure that everyone began to focus on, which for them was clock speed. Additionally, as you recall, Intel promoted Moore's law and promoted transistor density and clock speed as metrics for value. For many consumers, we didn't know any difference, so we would follow the Pentium upgrade cycle whenever we saw a new chip because we believed that was the right thing to do. The way you think about and feel speed as an end user utilizing software turns out to be unaffected by clock speed. The same is true with AI. Therefore, we also discussed that. Thus, it's a very significant business. I think NVIDIA is doing a fantastic job. They are employing many of the same strategies as Intel in an attempt to establish complete dominance. But there are some crucial differences regarding power, supply chain choices, and technological advancements that, to be honest, some people would consider unsustainable. And the more I comprehend them, the more I agree with them. In my opinion, that was a crucial discussion, and I hope we can share it. Investors in NVIDIA, that's a smart method to think and keep in mind. Investors are eager to hear from Jensen Huang, the CEO of NVIDIA. Huang is scheduled to talk tomorrow at approximately 10:20 a.m. Eastern Time at the Goldman Sachs Communacopia Conference. More information regarding the costs of the company's next-generation chip is what investors are seeking. I'm grinning because of what I'm thinking of Elizabeth Warren as I approach this. NVIDIA made a suggestion during the most recent earnings call that if these expenses do increase, gross margins may be dropping to the mid-70s. Although the stock has dropped almost 20% from its most recent peak, it has still increased by more than 130% in the last 12 months. As we follow these rumors of the DOJ targeting the tech behemoth, we continue to watch NVIDIA today, which is suddenly in positive territory, nearly a full percent after that severe drop, that record drop yesterday. Seema Modi has the most recent information about that. Hello, Seema. It was a historic drop, Carly. NVIDIA fell as much as 9% yesterday due to broader growth issues and worries about a DOJ investigation. According to reports, antitrust authorities are investigating whether NVIDIA is punishing customers who do not only use its AI hardware. According to Bloomberg, which cited reliable sources, that is the case. NVIDIA wins on merit, as reflected in our benchmark results and value to customers who can choose whatever solution is best for them. The chipmaker retorted whether this report is a subpoena that now becomes a formal complaint against the corporation is the question that the market is attempting to answer. Thus, this is what Wall Street has said thus far. Although it's too soon to estimate the possible regulatory risk, Stacy Rasgon of Bernstein cites prior instances, including as the FTC's actions against Qualcomm and AMD, followed by Broadcom. He claims that while it all generated anxiety at the time, none of them had a significant long-term effect. Therefore, it is now being treated as a headline risk. The elections will likely not change the DOJ's continued focus on antitrust enforcement in tech, but likely will affect the process for merger reviews, allowing for what he says will be quicker resolutions where remedies are available. Former antitrust chief Mac Delrahim told CNBC, taking a step back and examining how the upcoming election could affect tech and antitrust, we anticipate that NVIDIA's stock will rise today. Men, tell me if you require any other adjustments.